Hey Ted, what's
Hey,
better
Ryan.
than one bird dinner?
Uh, 5 bird dinners.
Wow. Oh, that's what it is. I'm over here like, how we got sound effects? I didn't even hit a button. Yes, you did, Ryan. Yes, you did. You got your phone on a whole, or your arm on a whole bunch of buttons. Um, what up, Ted? We're back here. We got no BS, Ted. What's up with you? How's your day going?
Busy. I had 2 Eagles creators on today. One at noon, one at 1:30. I had one yesterday at 3:30, and my usual 2 p.m. show yesterday. And I feel like I was supposed to have one on yesterday at noon, but that was one from today at noon. He punted. So 3 Eagles content creators and Pedro and you so far this week. Busy week. 5 shows in
Okay.
2 days.
Hey. Oh, what am I doing? I'm hitting buttons using the wrong hand. Let me go. Goodbye there.
I
Okay.
call that cheating.
So first in the chat, let's give a shout out to little Spongy, an avid misguided Philly sports fan. Thank you for coming in and showing your support.
Spongy.
He says Niners suck here. Yeah, I got you, Spongy. This is, 10. Yeah, you're upset about 10, or you're 10-1 on what?
On top.
Underdogs.
Yeah.
Oh, we
That's
got
true.
James Durnall in this house. He says, "Bitch, please. Your special move is grab your arse and push. You got much brotherly love over there." Yeah. We got Jimmy Perez in the house. Shout out Jimmy Perez. What up? Appreciate you. What's up?
Jimmy?
He's asking everybody to make sure to smash the like button and the subscribe. We got Bryant Culp in the house. What up? Oh, first of all, if you would, Philly is I think he's like a 12-year-old young man. He's got a channel where he does he opens packs of cards. So if you want to go out and help the young man, give him a sub. I know he's like the Phillies, but make sure to give the young man a sub. Oh yeah, well, Philly, you know what I mean? He's Philly, man. Yeah. Anyway, make sure to give him a sub. We got Bryant Culp, another wonderful content creator, and somebody I do a show with pretty much every Friday. And he does a show with everybody I do a show with. So, shout out to Bryant Culp. Make sure you just subscribe to him. And his better half has a channel too, where she also actually gets down on Saturdays with a whole panel of ladies, because the 49ers have the best female fans in all of sports. So make sure to go check them out. Got Joe Stevens in the house. What up, Joe Stevens? Do a show with him on Wednesday called The Rivalry. Make sure to check him out. We got Jason, Captain Niner Massey, in the house from the Niner Faithful Radio. Make sure to check him and his partner out on the Niner Faithful Radio. They do a great job.
No longer Niner Smash. He's Captain Niner.
He's captain. He purchased a hat a little bit ago. He's been wearing it very frequently. It's kind of gone over as the rave. He went down to the Thanksgiving game. He was there in person to watch us fillet them. And everybody wanted to take a picture with him just because he was wearing that hat. So he has changed his whole persona just to go with the hat. I think it's smart. It's smart.
Danny Noonan from Caddyshack.
Lightly push that. I don't want people breaking their keyboards or their phones. Okay. All right. We got Shifty. We got Shifty's 49er talk in the house. What up, Shifty? Appreciate you, sir. Shifty's got a great channel. You need to check him out too. He's got great content. He live streams the game. If you're not watching it with Corey and I, you might want to go check out Shifty. Speaking of which, Corey's not feeling so good, I hear. So everybody, you need to please put Corey in your thoughts and your prayers, whatever you do. Our homie's not doing so well. So I don't know how bad it is, but he's not at home. Okay. So that's not good. Right.
No.
So how severe it is, I don't know, but when you're not at your house, that's not a good thing. So make sure you go check him out. Hit him up on Twitter. Tell him you appreciate him. I tried to call. He told me, he called me on Sunday saying he was in the emergency room and he wasn't going to be able to do the show on Monday. I said, oh, okay. Well, text me when you get back from the hospital. I want to make sure you're okay. Like, who cares about the damn show, Corey? And then I get off work yesterday and no, Corey. And then so I call him up. Phone's dead. They're going straight to message. So I'm like, wait, what's going on with the Corey? And then so I call Brian up. Brian tells me, I'll keep you posted. And Brian texted me earlier today. Corey called me, but he didn't call me back. So see what happens here. Just make sure to keep Corey Lockdown Davis in your thoughts and your prayers, whatever you may do.
Speedy healings, Corey.
Yeah. Like half my weekly shows are all doing them with Corey. Because I'm on his shows. He's not just on my shows. I'm on his shows. He's got a pick'em show on Wednesday night. It's like one of the biggest parts of my week is the pick'em show, seeing how horribly I did. I try to blame somebody, but it's just me in the end. Yeah.
It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah. Well, I make the picks, right?
Swift.
I make the picks. How can I really blame anybody else? It's not fair. Okay.
I blame Vegas.
I don't look at Vegas. I don't.
Oh, so you didn't know that we were favored against the Eagles?
No, I knew that
because
it's the first time a 10-1 team at home has ever been the underdog, which I totally understand why. That doesn't mean that we've got a golden ticket to the win. Not by damn sure. But I do.
Playing.
What's up?
Not if Lane Johnson is playing.
Yeah, well, even if Lane Johnson's playing, the way I see it is they haven't really. What defense have they gone up that's a stout defense? Have they? That's one thing I forgot to look up.
Cowboys.
Okay.
I'll have to look.
Because what I was finding is like their defense is like ranked in the 20s. So they're all up front. Like Payday Slay, I saw him causing penalties that weren't called. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's as he once was. We were going to expose Bradbury. They extended him. Right? If I remember correctly.
Yep.
So
KC has a really good defense.
Yeah, KC has a real good
Dallas
defense.
has a really good defense. The Jets have a really good defense. Tampa Bay is decent. That's about it that they've played.
Yeah.
Commanders might have been decent when they still had Sweat and Chase Young.
I think then why all of a sudden
the Commanders played them tough both times?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're that special on defense anymore. And not to say that they're not on offense, but I don't think they've actually faced a defense that's firing like we are on all levels, essentially. Hopefully, right? If they keep up what they've done the last couple of games, this defense is firing on all frickin' cylinders. So it's going to be hard pressed for them to. They erased the Seahawks wide receivers.
That's true. Mooney
Smith
Ward was night and day from the wild card game where DK lit him up. This time he locked DK down, so that was a huge shift.
And they were able to lock him up just enough to where the defensive line could get home. You had Smith and Jigba being the leading receiver on the team, and I think he still had less than 80 yards. I think it was like close to 70, maybe it's 60. But that's nothing. You've got DK out there. You've got Tyler Lockett is like one of the most underrated wide receivers in this league. He can get open whenever the fuck he wants. You know what I mean? That guy is just.
But they were also missing their offensive tackle, and they've been missing Walker.
They've been missing that offensive tackle on and off this whole time.
Kenneth Walker was a big loss for the Seahawks for sure.
They still got Charbonnet.
Yeah, he's nice.
Not to say, huh?
He's nice for a rookie.
Charbonnet would be nasty in our scheme. I personally believe you can, have whatever opinion you want. I'm just saying, I think Charbonnet would be nasty. He's got that quick cut like CMC. He's got all right vision. And when you see, when it's a run play and it's not all clumped up, right? When you can see there's guys and there's kind of lanes, but you don't know where the lanes are because they're so close together. Charbonnet pops out the other end of those. He knows exactly what's going on. He gets low. He turns his way to the side, and he gets positive yards. He always pops out the end of those things. So I think he would be great in our system because anybody who can find plus yards in something like that can go to the house in some of the things that we do as far as on the line. That's why Christian McCaffrey. What's up?
I was going to say, but DeAndre Swift is the third leading rusher in the league after CMC and Mostert. So
yeah,
much different tasks this week. I think AJ Brown is better than DK. I think Devontae Smith is better than Lockett. We know Dallas Goedert is better than any of the Seahawks tight ends, but he's still on IR, so that's not looking real likely. But here's the thing. I talked to some Eagles content creators, and they said that Bradbury's been getting cooked. They said, like you said, big payday Slay has not been what he was last year.
That's what I'm saying.
The linebackers are nothing to write home about. They have Blankenship, who was a good rookie last year, who's a good safety this year. But their other safety, strong safety, I believe, is nothing to write home about. The thing is, there's a wild card. And the wild card is Darius Leonard, a.k.a. now Shaq Leonard, was cut by the Colts. He's talking to the Cowboys today and talking to the Eagles next. Either one of those landing spots would be very bad for the 49ers.
Maybe not for this game.
Maybe not for this game, but
maybe not for this game. But no. As far as down the field, I can see that. At the same time, there's a reason why he's being let go. And it's not because he's extremely talented.
I think he's talented. I think he's had some back injuries, and he's the highest paid inside linebacker in the league. He's not playing to that level anymore. But
exactly,
but he's still a lot better than anybody that the Eagles have at linebacker, and better than anybody not named Micah Parsons for the Cowboys, especially now that Leighton Vander Esch has been out since they played us.
So I believe they've got 2 interior defensive linemen out.
Fletcher Cox,
and another guy who I believe has
Williams or somebody. I think somebody was saying that Mitch Kofsky was on today with me at noon. He really liked this guy that's out.
Yeah, as far as I heard something about it Yeah, well, I don't know what he is, but I hear he's like he's got like 300 plus snaps this year. And he's one of those guys that he run stuffer sounds correct because it seems like they'd like to use him more because he's extremely talented, but they don't get put in those positions. This would be one of those positions if he's a run stuffer where you'd want to play him a lot more, right? So he's out.
Milton Williams is his name.
Yeah.
Left defensive tackle.
Which, what the
It's
fuck does that
interesting
mean?
that our lad doesn't have Fletcher Cox listed on the injured.
He's got a groin injury. I think it would be miraculous for him to come back and play this game. If I were the Eagles, knowing that we're going to the playoffs, I wouldn't want him to come back and play until he was ready to go. You know what I mean? Like 100%. That groin, you come back early on that groin, you can say goodbye to the rest of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or goodbye to. Go ahead.
Also, I was way off when I said the other safety for the Eagles was no one to write home about. It's freaking Kevin Byard. I forgot they traded with the Titans. He's one of the better safeties in the league. So I was way off on that one. To go with Blankenship. So they do have a really good safety.
We got Mark Graves came in the house. Game probably coming down to turnovers. Thank you, Mark, for stopping in. Appreciate you. Make sure to hit the like button. Yeah, turnovers is going to be a big thing. Also, like, everybody's talking about the tush push, right? We got to get him keep him out of third and short. I don't know if there's a way to beat the tush push, but I've got an idea. You got to get lower than him. Lowest man wins. Okay. They're getting on all fours and bear crawling for the most part. That's kind of the first part of it. So if you can get lower than their bear crawl and you can stop Jason Kelce's thighs from moving forward, so therefore he can't bear crawl, then he's stuck. And if you can attack everybody and get underneath them at that point, that stops their whole line. And then if you got guys going over the top, that can pin Jalen Hurts back.
A guide Fred missile over the center.
Yeah. Or Greenlaw.
We saw Fred do that earlier this season. The last couple games he did that.
Also, another thing I'd like to see is let's have Greenlaw stay in and watch Jalen Hurts. Spy. The reason being is I want Greenlaw there to meet him. So he knows what's coming when he decides he wants to scramble. You got a Greenlaw on you. Okay. You want to feel the pain? Okay, scramble. If not, just take that sack or throw the ball away like a smart quarterback would do. But you want to play this game? Put Greenlaw on him.
Makes sense.
Even though that could get Greenlaw ejected from the game because he's a quarterback and they love to like be pieces of shit to Greenlaw. He's this and that. It's football.
Like they did when he hit Herbert, when really it was because Herbert was being pulled down from behind by Jimmy Ward. James Darnall nailed it. He said Fred flew to stop Kirk. I knew it was the last few games. I didn't think it was 4 or 5 games ago, but I guess it was 5 games ago.
Which is funny because you're not supposed to jump because if you jump, they can duck under and run. But Fred is very smart to put his hands up, and as he jumps, he puts his hands kind of down because his body's going in the way, and he keeps them from being able to run. And then he check it out. We also got Jess from 49ers East Coast Red and Gold podcast in the house. Oh, hold on. Make sure to check them out. Jess, Maddie B, Ty Alston, and Bex in the house.
I got to meet Ty at the Bucks game. He was there in the gold mine with me.
Or Ty's the shit. I love Ty. He always brightens up anything he's on. That's one thing I've noticed. Is he's just 100% like, I can already tell that who you see like on TV is exactly who he is at home. You know what I mean? Like, just chill. We're having a good time. So they're good people over there. Maddie B's awesome. He's just a real dude. And Bex has always got her side to things. So it's great to check in with them. And yeah, they got a great show. Piece them up Wednesdays. Let's see what
This Niners memorabilia here is from Bex.
Ooh, shout out to Bex. Let's see that. We got an air horn. There we go. There's for Bex. So after they're talking about their defense, their offense also, they like to do quarterback draws on third long, which I think is kind of more of an issue to me. Because when you play so hard on first and second down, and then they just run streaking routes all the way down the field, and you turn your back in man coverage, and then they run quarterback draw. I think they have a thing where if it's like long, third and long, and they're in man coverage, that he's just supposed to essentially audible into a draw. I just have a feeling.
That would make sense. It's deadly for sure. I mean, like you said, it's the drawback of playing man. Also, the other drawback of playing man is it's harder to have a spy in man than it is in zone.
Yeah.
Maybe you play man. Maybe you play man half the field, and the other half you play zone.
Yeah, but still, like, we eat that shit up left and right. So it's not like, to me, I'd rather just play our base defense. I wouldn't want to get too tricky, because why? That's just, we're going to come out, we're going to try something we don't normally do that we're not good at, and that's a way to fail. To me, the best thing to do would be to come out, do something you've had success at over and over and over and over again, and plan for that, and just figure out how to tweak that a little bit. All I know is I think Jalen Hurts. Where's Jimmy Ward? Where's Jimmy Ward to take one of those big ass fines to make sure to make sure everybody knows we ain't running today, are we? You know what I mean? Like when Jimmy dumped his shoulder on Geno, I knew exactly what happened. People were like, "Oh, why did Jimmy do that? Oh, I don't know. That must have been a mistake." And I was like, "No, that was intentional." What? You think that was clearly intentional? He's so talented. He cannot do that. And he did that for sure to just make sure that everybody knew quarterbacks ain't scrambling today. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a quarterback scrambling game.
Not today.
Not today. You could try, but this is not how it's going today. Jimmy.
I miss Jimmy Ward for sure. And along those lines, did you see that Odom had bicep surgery? So we're getting even thinner at safety if we weren't thin enough already.
Well, but I think you can move Isaiah Oliver up there. He doesn't need to be nickel at the moment. I think we got guys. He likes to hit people, so let him be safety. You know what I mean? He's not good at coverage, so he's not good at covering a receiver. So let him be the single back or the single high if need be, because then you're not covering anybody. You're just there to help one person cover one receiver after you figure out who that one receiver is. Right?
Right.
That's what I would do. And then after he figures that out, all he's got to do is go hit somebody, which he's very good at doing. So let's just, play people to their strengths. Oh, we got a couple additions to the chat. I want to make sure we get them real quick.
Tommy.
What up, Tammy? What's good, pelvic thrust dancers? Hey, I have upgraded. I've got my black belt in that. I am now started with what is it? I'm twerking.
I talked about Steven's hat enough that he made it the front and center on his profile pic right below. Don't bother me.
Oh,
this is like the dopest Niners hat I ever saw. Got like yellow plastic across the brim, and then these shiny ass saloon font numbers that are like nailed in, the nails holding them in. It's like the coolest thing ever, especially in live and in person with the sun shining on it. It's like it could blind your eyes, literally.
Oh, he's got that bling bling.
Super shiny.
Or it'd be considered drip nowadays. Drip.
Had a different meaning back in my day.
Every time I come around the city, bling bling. You know about that one? Ted?
Probably not.
Oh. Wobbity, 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 wobbity.
I know old hip hop and I know new
like
hip hop. But I know old and new, but a lot of the stuff in the middle.
This is in the middle, yeah. This is in the middle, baby. Yeah. Do you know anything about some No Limit Records or anything like that?
Not a damn thing.
Oh. I need you to go home. Or sorry, you are home. Excuse me. After this, I need you to put on Bourbons and Lax. And I want you to crank it up real loud. And then act like you've listened to this song for years, because when the missus comes in, it's like, what the hell are you listening to? You need to be like, shh, this is my jam.
She'll probably know it. She's definitely hip on the hip hop.
Oh, you got yourself a gangster boo?
Absolutely.
Oh. What? We got a beatbox sexing mashed potato music? Oh. So he was making fun of me for my music yesterday. And now he's upset that it's gone, because it was pretty good for the. You got to pay to get the other tracks, but I've got another one that just doesn't have as many options. James says, I think Wilkes is going to show blitz a lot this game. Whether we drop into coverage is another matter, but I think we're going to get after him. I'm fine with that, just as long as we drop into coverage. Look at what Fred Warner can do. He can fake blitz and then drop back and cover somebody like CeeDee Lamb in that. So test that out. Put him there with some of them wide receivers. Make them think that wide receiver is going to be totally open, and make them make that mistake. What happened last time? They batted the ball down. The other time, I can't remember what happened that same game. Oh, what was it? I can't remember the outcome of the other play, but they thought, oh, we could go to him. Oh my gosh, it was like open, which it wasn't. They just didn't know that it was an open. They thought they were going to run it back. There's no way that this could happen twice. Yeah, it can happen twice.
Lightning strikes twice.
Got Bashar in the house. What up, Bashar? Make sure to check out Bashar, 49er minded.
What's up, Bash?
Yeah.
You a big X-Files fan?
Kind of when I was a kid. I liked
Mulder, Scully.
I liked it because it made you think. It made you think in both directions. You know what I mean? Because at the end, it was all figured out for the most part and was able to be rationalized, right? But in the beginning, it looked like the most craziest thing was actually what was going to be true. And there was things that led up to it. So like and in the middle, you're having to weigh things back and forth. To me, I loved it because you're having to make decisions. I love murder mysteries and stuff like that. So to me, that was like not a murder mystery, but it's kind of like you're having to reverse engineer what came about. So it's the same kind of thing almost. Yeah.
It was a good show. I wasn't like a super X-Files fan, but I didn't hate it either.
I wasn't a super fan, but I liked it.
Got a little weird towards the end.
Well, how can you not get weird with that type of essentially format? Is especially when you're grasping for stuff. You know what I mean? There's so many. Did you know he was a part of another show?
David Duchovny?
Yeah. It was on Cinemax.
AKA Skinemax?
Yeah, it was called Red Shoe Diary.
I think I heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever watched it, though.
It was very popular when I was a young man. No lie. No lie. I'm like, this kind of feels weird. like how come he's got to start off this show out of everybody?
Skinemax.
Yes, we gotta contain Hertz. Yes, containing Hertz I think is a big thing because he can scorch you. I don't know how much he's really gonna they're gonna want to get us in man. So we're going to have to figure out how we can keep the lid on everybody in zone. Right?
It'll help if Dallas Goddard isn't back.
I heard he's not, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I've been hearing.
You got to get him off IR pretty quick here. It's Tuesday.
Oh.
So.
You know, one thing I'd like to see. So Riddick was talking that shit. Riddick seems to like come off the edge like he did last not off season, but last postseason. You know, not scared about any of that stuff. I think really early on, we should dial up a play to make Hassan Reddick not worry about running upfield, like not worry about the running back and where he can run up at the quarterback. And I think we should have Trent Williams in motion to just decleat the fucking piss out of him.
I love it.
To make him put his head on the swivel the whole rest of the fucking game. You know what I mean?
That would be great.
Just beat that ass. You know what I mean? I would just love to just make that little statement real quick, right out the gate, put that bitch on his ass. Make sure it's the silverback gorilla. Oh my gosh, there's a show called Adult Swim, or a thing called Adult Swim, and they had a show called Robot Chicken. And one of the episodes of Robot Chicken, they did this funny claymation. It looked like you remember the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movies that are kind of like claymation, but they put
Of course, it's like the Heat Miser and
the famous one. Well, you remember the Abominable Snowman,
Freeze
right?
Miser and
the Abominable Snowman. Okay.
Of course.
So this scene Okay, so supposedly in this version, the Santa is like smuggling a certain kind of drug, right? And in snow and whatnot, right?
I
So
have no
they
idea
got
what
the
you're talking about.
yeah, so they got the abominable snowman sitting there trying to go through like customs at the airport, right? And
Mhm.
you got one of the, the elf with the blonde hair. They got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
elf with the blonde hair sitting there smoking a cigarette, talking about. He looks straight in the camera, right, and goes, "Have you ever seen a abominable snowman when 12 condoms of cocaine busts in its stomach?" And then like you flash to this abominable snowman, just like the eyes just go up. It's grabbing people, like ripping them off the head off and just throwing it in the ground, just like using them to smash another one. Like that's what I want Trent Williams to do on that line this game.
He'd
I
be the guy
want
to
them,
do it.
yeah, just put him in motion and put everybody on fucking notice.
There you
You
go.
want to come up the field? Better have your head on a swivel, bruh, because we're putting you on notice right freaking now.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Hey, can you cover for a sec while I go on mute for a second?
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to give a shout out to the chat.
I'll be right.
So, real quick, let me get back to some of these, but I want to give a shout out to Rob D in the house. What up, Rob D? Appreciate you for joining in. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe, sir. And we also got the one, the only Crazy Juice in the house. Yeah, remember Robot Chicken. I'm thinking if we just show how nasty we can be on this line, they might take it down a couple notches. And they don't got their big dude Fletcher Cox this game, I'm pretty sure. So that's the anchor of that line. Who's there to be nastier? Who's there to be nastier than Trent Williams on that line than anybody else? You could give them Javon Hargrave. Trent Williams is still going to be the nastiest person on that line. So let's use that to our advantage. Let's put some of them big grown ass men in their seat, like on their ass. Come out, let them come off the edge real quick and just catch a body. A silverback gorilla. Eat this.
Especially in the run game.
Little fumbly, make sure to do your math homework and get off YouTube. Yes. He's talking to you, Spongy. He's talking to you, Spongy.
Crazy Juice remembers Robot Chicken.
Yeah. It's done by what's his name? Seth. You remember Austin Powers, the son, the redheaded son?
Yeah.
That he's a producer / director. He came up with that show.
He's hilarious.
They use like action figures from like the 80s and 90s to make all the shows. And it's like stop animation. It's really bad, but it's funny as hell. like it's if you gave a kid from like Seth Green, if you gave a kid from like the 80s or 90s like $100 budget to make a I don't know, a 2-minute video, and he just wanted to do it with a camcorder and action figures and like a diorama box, this is exactly what the show is.
Nice.
It's awesome though. Shout out to the chat. You guys are popping right now. Seth Green. See, look, why wasn't I looking down? Tommy's got me. Bebop knew what I was talking about. Shout out to Bebop Jones in the chat.
Bebop, Bebop.
Bebop is the man.
Coming to us from Bethlehem, PA.
Rob D says, Phillies say we talk too much. Shit. When they got Graham or the biggest ish talker there is. Yeah. Well, whatever's clever. They're getting exposed in the secondary as so far. And it's going to, the Chiefs, they got a great defense, but I don't think they're as great as us. I think when Chris Jones is on a tear, they're doing great. You know what I mean? Their defense is doing great when Chris Jones is on a tear. When he's not on a tear, anybody can win that game.
Well, I think they lost one of their linebackers too. I think they lost one who played so well in the Super Bowl. I think maybe the one who got the fumble 6 in the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can look him up.
Yeah, Crazy Juice. We're all wondering that if they're going to have Dallas Gallard back. Now, when do they have to do that by, Ted? Do you know?
I don't know, but I would assume like by today or tomorrow would be my thought. To get him off IR, eligible for practice. I'd be surprised if they didn't wait a week. So, yeah, in fact, he's not listed on there, so he must be badly injured. He's not on the active roster right now. The gentleman I'm thinking of. So it was a bad injury.
I kind of I kind of was a little upset when Cox went down and out of the game. I know it sounds weird, but I wanted to see where we were with them like 100%. Now I know their tackle's coming back. I know he's going to force himself to play. That may or may not be a good thing for them. You're going to force yourself to play. Okay. Have fun with Chase Young and Nick Bosa. Like, you remember when Trent came back in what game was it? Was it 3 years ago? Not this year, not last year, but the year before that. He came back in like the last playoff game. I think it was against the Rams when we lost against the Rams. He said that he shouldn't have been playing. He thought he was doing something for the team by showing up and playing, but he realized he was in too much pain to be good enough help out there for them, and that he probably should have just stepped aside and let even though a guy isn't necessarily as talented as him, they can be more mobile than he can, and they might be able to have more production with them out there than him. So this could be a thing like that, but it also could be a thing like if he gets hurt again, right, or gets it hurt worse, and you got to take more time out. That's not a good thing. Not going down the end of the stretch. So who knows?
Well, they got Dallas next week, so that's a big game. But then after that, they have kind of a cake schedule, I think.
They got what?
They have the Cowboys next week, which is big in Dallas. But after that, they have kind of a cake schedule, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if looking at the end of the year, I don't know if it's going to show that they had really a tough schedule.
Actually, I take that back. They have the Seahawks. So we play the Seahawks next week. Then when they play Dallas, then they play the Seahawks. And the Seahawks play Dallas this week on Thursday, which both teams played last Thursday. That's kind of interesting. But then they got Giants, Cards, Giants to end the season. So cake, super cake, cake.
Where's the fucking...
What's up, David Corona?
I was about ready to trying to find the sound effect.
Saying, what up, everyone? 49ers all day, every day. Oh, yeah.
Where is it? Oh, I was going to... trying to find the right sound effect. I swear it would be right. There it is. Here we go. There we go. What up, David? Appreciate you. Appreciate you stopping by. He is a very avid 49ers fan and San Francisco Giants fan. Also, he likes the Golden State Warriors. Big Golden State Warriors fan. Make sure to check him out. He should have a channel sometime. He has been working together with his missus for about a year and a half trying to get StreamYard and YouTube hooked up. So make sure to check back with him. Anything I'm missing about this game we kind of haven't addressed?
I mean, I've been saying that I think if it's a close game, I like the Eagles.
Their kicker is money.
Yeah, their kicker's money, and they've just been all, they've won a ton of close games this season, coming from behind. Whereas we have won no close games. We've only won games where we're way ahead. I think we could go ahead early, especially with they've been slow starting. I think the one way we could win a close game is if we jump out ahead and they make it close, but they don't quite bridge the gap and they win by a little. But if it's going back and forth a bunch, I think the Eagles will win.
We can't leave the ball in their hand with time on the clock unless we've got 2 touchdown lead. Right?
I think that's about right. If it comes down to the tush push, I think we're in trouble, even with our brilliant ways of trying to defend it that we outlined so far. Teams have had very little success stopping the brotherly shove.
One thing to look at would be on Monday night, the Bills tried to use their version of the brotherly shove. And if you just kind of got to look to see how the Eagles defense themselves attacked it. That might be a good stopping off point. Man, I don't think David Corona is actually in the chat anymore. No. Either that or he is typing out a paragraph. I said he was a San Francisco Giants fan and a Golden State Warriors fan.
Oh, so he's just a Niners fan and what, Lakers, Dodgers? There's a lot of Lakers, Dodgers fans in the Niners fan base.
That's fine. You know why?
No, it's not fine.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. They're Niners fans. Makes no difference to me. You're putting up borders. You're putting up borders.
Oh, no border sports.
I don't care about your religion. I don't care about your race. That doesn't mean anything. I'm here to talk about sport. I don't care about politics. I don't want to talk about politics.
Crazy Juice is one of them. Oh, God, they're everywhere. At least the Sixers beat the Fakers. So that's one thing I can like Philly for.
Look, this is... So, like, how to put this? Like, Joe Stevens and I, right? Good friends. Pacific Northwesters, right? But I'm a Niners fan. He's a Seahawks fan. And we could be, good friends and this and that. And we can have a really good show where we don't talk crap about each other. But, yeah, we can go into opposite things and talk crap about each other's teams. You know what I mean? And perfectly be fine. So, it's perfectly, it's fine. It's okay. You got guys, at least, you can be friends with half of the year and then have a good rivalry with the other. What happens is if you take it just too far, bro, if you just take it too far, I think sometimes you just got to know when to just go, we'll see. You know what I mean? And at some point, you just kind of be like, we'll see on Sunday or whatever day the other sport plays, right?
So Crazy Juice is from LA. So you get a hall pass, Crazy Juice. That actually makes some sense.
Yeah.
It's the people that are all over the rest of the country.
Rams left, which made people who liked watching good football want to be Niners fans.
Yeah,
so
Niners, Raiders.
Yeah, and then they ain't got a football team in their area, but they got everything else. So why would they? I wouldn't expect them to just be like, oh, well, my football team's from up there, so I gotta like all the other.
No,
No,
I
yeah,
agree. I agree there. I'm just talking about the people that are from the rest of the flipping country jumping on the Dodgers and Lakers bandwagon. It's just
oh,
makes me sick. I tell you, sick. But Crazy Juice has perfect excuse. So that's fine.
yeah, no, that makes sense. That's why David Corona is from the southern end of California, so he's got all that. But he reps his 49ers diehard. He's if you
Corona
look,
Del Mar. Oh, just Corona. He's from Corona, California.
he's from Corona, California, but his last name is also Corona.
It's too bad there's no town named Hazelrig in California, or I could move there.
He says the difference between him and most LA team fans is that he is not a homer. So that I don't think it's kind of good to be a homer, and at the same time, there's times where it's really bad to be a homer. Like when Brock Purdy and the team, they had that 3-game losing streak, right? It's okay not to be a homer there for the most part. It's just you can't just like fillet one person. Everybody has to take a piece of that shit pie. You know what I mean? Everybody got to take a bite of that. So like, but it's also okay to be like a homer in that period in time, because we saw it. They pulled their head out of their ass. It might have been a little later than we expected, but they did. So if you would have just been thinking, hey, everything's perfect, it'll be okay, you're right. You know what I mean? You were right. Now we'll see about this game, obviously, but those 2 games afterwards, we should have won. We did. So there we go. There are Niners fans everywhere, all around. Gee, who was it? One of our Niners family members lost their brother. I think he was from, I don't know. He was from Europe, a European country. And when he got back, he found out his brother had passed away on Thanksgiving.
Oof.
It's very sad to hear. So make sure to give him some thoughts too. And Corey Davis. All around the world, the same song. All around the world, the same song. I don't know if you know that. Sick mouse. Oh, you like my mouse? It's a little bitty. It's cheap, I think. Nothing fancy. Their wide receivers, they can do so much with what they've got, and they can do it well. What are the big things that you're looking to see us do in the passing game, essentially, or in stopping their passing game?
I mean, more of what we've been doing, which is keeping our corners close to the line of scrimmage, keep Isaiah Oliver out of the game. Hopefully Ambry Thomas can keep playing well. Mooney Ward's been on fire, so keep that up. And my big thing is Jair Brown. How will he do? He seemed to be okay against the Seahawks, but Geno was clearly rattled. I don't think that was a really good test. He got torched a little bit against the Bucs, but then he had the game-ending interception. So can he build off of that? It's funny. I saw a guy last week before Thanksgiving. I think it was Tuesday night. We went up to a party. It was after we had our show last Tuesday. And we went to the city to a party up there. And the guy who was throwing the party is a real big Niner fan and somebody I, hold his opinions pretty highly. And I was like, I'm worried about Hufanga. And he was like, he's like, if I had to pick one defender to lose, it would have been Hufanga. And I was like, no shit. And I was like, and we kind of went through it. And obviously the whole D-line is more important than Hufanga, right? All the starters, especially now that we have Chase Young. And then obviously Dre and Fred. I mean, I'm not going to go Oren Burks or whatever, whoever's playing strong side Sam linebacker for us, since that's not really a full-time position. We play so much nickel. It doesn't really count as a starting position to me. But obviously Mooney Ward is more important than Hufanga. Even maybe Lenore.
Mooney Ward lately too.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I would say that I'd rather lose Ambry Thomas than Hufanga, but then who's backing up Andrew Thomas? That's the thing. Right. It's like we got Jair Brown, who's like kind of Hufanga's clone. They're both slow, but they're instinctive. They're both ball hawks that don't cover well. They both hit hard and blitz well. They're so similar. I'm not saying that Jair Brown has played as well as Hufanga yet, but he certainly wasn't terrible against the Seahawks. I will say that.
Nope.
So hopefully he can keep that up. But yeah, what am I looking for? I mean, yeah, double cover AJ Brown, I'd say, and maybe put your best guy. Maybe put Mooney Ward on Devontae Smith, and like I said, figure out some way to spy Hurts, and then pray for all the rest, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot. Fun. Especially not with that O-line. If Lane Stevens is back.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? That could, like I said, it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. That could end up him getting injured and being out longer. He could also not be able to move well enough to be as successful as other people might be able to. Also, he might be able to do all that and more, like as far as handling everybody and doing everything he needs to. So we'll see. This game, I just wish it could get here already. You know what I mean? Like, nervous for it to happen. It's just sucks.
Yeah, it's going to be a long wait. I mean, think how long it's going to be waiting for the NFC Championship game. That's going to be even longer because there's not even any other football to talk about that week. Or barely. There's still the AFC side, but not nearly as much football to talk about as there is this week.
Yeah.
Earlier, I was in a stream and with John Vogel, who is an Eagles fan and a draft expert. And interestingly enough, he and another draft expert that I had on this last offseason both thought that the Rams were going to be pretty decent this year. Alex Barber. I couldn't think of his last name during the other show, but it came to me just now. But they both thought the Rams were going to be not as good as the Niners and Seahawks, but they thought, good enough to make it tough on whoever came out of the West. And I guess technically the Rams did sweep the Seahawks, so I guess they did make it tough on the Seahawks in their own little way. But my point was that I've totally lost my point.
You had the Rams expert on, or not the Rams, but the Eagles expert on. So
yeah, but there was something else about.
Was it about the Eagles draft that they did? Some rookies or something?
No. Somebody help me. I've totally lost my train of thought. Killing me.
Here, you want some of this?
There you go.
Might help.
Yeah.
Might help you.
Cures what ails you. Shoot.
Don't worry about it. We can come back.
Yeah.
You already set it up. So we can go straight back into it.
I know, but I should have just left that whole Rams thing off. It had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I just remembered the Alex Barber part, and
we were talking about receivers.
Yeah.
Talking about receivers. I'm scared with what they got in the house, kind of. But at the same time, if we were able to keep Seattle's receivers under wraps, we should be able to kind of keep the Eagles receivers under wraps. I'm not going to say we're going to be able to play them just like that. I think that's a fool's errand to think our guys are going to be able to hold them to the same stat lines. But I think it'll be along the same lines. In fact, you know what I mean? On third down and long, maybe we should have somebody like Chase Young be the spy.
He's not fast enough.
What do you mean?
The spy has to be almost as fast as the quarterback.
Yeah, Jalen. You mean Chase Young isn't close to Jalen Hurts?
No. I think it'd have to be a middle linebacker or a safety would be the only ones that would be fast enough and big enough to do something about it.
You can put them on the line, and if he's got to come to him, that means like Jalen Hurts has got to take 5 steps one way when Chase Young's only got to take 2 or 3 one way to intercept him.
Unless Chase is on the wrong side of the line.
That's why you have him in the middle.
Oh, I see. Over center. Interesting. Oh, he did do that some against was it the Jags when he first
and then you can run a delayed stunt off of it. So if he doesn't immediately, because normally when you see these draws that he does, the moment he hits his back foot, he like bends his knees, crouch, like kind of crouches, gets low so no one can see him real quick, and just darts forward. So to me, I'm thinking, and there's always like a hole opening up. So why not just have him standing there waiting for a hole to open up and just step right in it? You can play man down the field. And if a hole opens up, if they don't go to close it, that means they're trying to leave it open for the quarterback. So let's do something like that. They're going to either open it up to, between the center and the guard, one side or the other. That's normally how they're going to do it. So all he needs to do is be kind of head up on the center, figure out where the hole is, stand in the middle of it. Come get it, boy. Let's do this, Jalen. You wanna do this? Let's do it.
Dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.
That's right. I'm trying to. Oh man, got this young kid at work named Gio. I was like, have you seen Tombstone? He said no. I was like, oh my gosh. Right. So his best friend comes in. I go, Jeremiah, you seen Tombstone? And he's like, which one's that? He's like, is that the one where it's about why? And I was like, yes. And he's like, oh, I've seen clips. He's like, I want to see that movie. That movie looks so good. I was like, bro, it is good. And I'm like, see, he knows this is a man's movie. I was like, you got 2 guys in this movie. They're so good that somebody's got to go. By the end of the movie, somebody got to go. Like somebody can no longer exist. Right? Like that's a good movie. If you're making that kind of a call, like somebody's got to go at the end of every down or third and long. You know what I mean? And if you're going to pick with your quarterback running the ball, well, Chase Young can meet you at the hole. Somebody's got to go, right? You're either going to get your first down or you're going to punt. And let's just make that decisions. Make those decisions. Gotta go. Somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to go. Too bad we can't put him out for the rest of the season in this game. As far as like win the NFC Championship right now in this game.
Yeah, I mean we got to beat him. We got to have Dallas beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got to beat the Seahawks. And then we got to beat the Ravens. And the Ravens is the one that really worries
Why
me.
couldn't the frickin' Bills? Oh my God, you stupid assholes! Why couldn't you just beat the Eagles real quick? You shitty little turds! Oh my gosh!
That guy I was telling you about, John Vogel, blamed Gabe Davis for it because he said basically when you beat a zero blitz, the rule is you just keep running. Even if you had a corner route that told you to break your route off, you ignore it and you keep running to go, as deep as you can because there's nobody over the top. And so Gabe broke the route off because that was the route that was called, and Josh Allen threw deep because that's what you're supposed to do, and that's why.
Well, a lot of the announcers were talking last night, or talking in that Philly game, that whether you're supposed to do this or that, when it says cover zero blitz, turn your head around and figure out what's going on. Because that's one of the best things you can do is turn your head around, and that'll depict what you do because you'll see the ball come out. You know what I mean? Once the ball comes out, then you could go to it. And like if you're looking back at the quarterback, you can point to where you want to go. Right?
Pretty much.
And if he doesn't like that, if there's any time, he'll point you to a different way. I don't know. I feel that this is the poor guy worked his ass off the previous week. He didn't get a single reception, and he blocked and got a game ball for being a blocking wide receiver. Played his ass off. That game previously, I believe he scored the first touchdown by the Bills that game. Because everybody was covering, they're like, we'll give it to the guy who got no freaking receptions last week, and he scored a touchdown for him. So I think this is one of those guys that he's going to be a dog for them in the future, but I think he's learning stuff real time. You know what I mean? I think that was an example of it. So it's there's other things, lots of things that could have been done. I just feel like, come on, Bills. Holy shit.
And then we'll probably be saying that about the Cowboys next week. So
yeah, right. Come
on, Cowboys. But Crazy Juice has a good point. Well, you can't rely on other teams to do your work for you. That's true, but that's all we got at this point. That's our only chance of getting the number 1 seed. So we no longer control our own destiny.
Kind of.
That's a weird saying anyway, isn't it? I mean,
we do have control over one.
But doesn't like destiny mean automatically the meaning is you don't control destiny. It's uncontrollable. It's preordained. It is what it is, and there's nothing you can do about destiny. It's your destiny, right?
I dated a destiny.
Oh, I bet you did.
That same that same destiny. No,
it's a sure way to have your daughter grow up to be a stripper.
That same destiny dated my cousin.
Oh, nice. Keep it in
After
the family.
me.
Keep it in the family.
Well, we're a handsome bunch of blokes.
Or Crystal or Ruby.
She sung a duet with, I think it's Keith Urban.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Keith Urban the country guy from Australia?
From Australia, who's married to Nicole Kidman.
Yep, she sung a duet with him.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Hey, yeah, she wasn't a stripper.
According, yeah, sure.
No, hey, I know. She went into the military afterwards. So usually the strippers named Destiny, they change their name to the stripper names.
Ah, I see. They weren't named that coming out of the chute, huh?
Yeah, that's a lot of that stuff. I was a bouncer at a strip joint. Shout out to Deja Vu in Everett. I was the last bouncer they hired there. The owner was a Russian mafia guy who got shot and killed in his own garage.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, it's a mob hit. Mob hit. You don't get shot and killed in your own garage. It's you walk out into your garage and they kill you. They're with you. They tell you to walk out first. You walk out. Da 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 da. So they had to sell the. He didn't leave it to anybody, so it had to be shut down and liquidated. Essentially,
Oh,
that's how the Deja Vu and Everett ceased to exist. Yeah, well,
hard
you're
to
a young guy
believe.
who can throw people around, and you can get a job as a bouncer at a strip club. Just
There you go.
saying.
Has fringe benefits, I'm sure.
Oh no, not at all. Them women are crazy. Women are freaking crazy.
Not students at the local university.
I need that employee discount. No employee discounts. Since you're a bouncer, they have to like tip you for walking them to your car. They're walking them to their car. And so like they would all get ready and all this and that. And then they would like post up in the room and they'd wait for me to go use the restroom real quick. So it's like once every, couple hours. And then they would all run out. And then since I didn't walk them to their car, they'd be like, oh, hey, oh, sorry, have a nice night. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, you guys can get kidnapped out here, right? Like, you guys are freaking crazy because you don't want to. Who cares about the tip, you idiots? Just fucking let me walk you out. Like, I don't care about the tips, right? Okay, I don't give a shit.
You got to
right?
go NASA astronaut style and just wear the Depends, and then that way you won't miss your tips.
The first night I worked there, I had a weirdo. This guy, he comes in, you tell him, you got to buy the drink and the admission fee, all that stuff, right? He comes in with sweats. Weirdos come in with sweats on. Okay, just to let you know that. So he leaves after a couple hours, right? And I'm not thinking much of it. He leaves. He comes back and he parks at the parking lot next door. And I see him cock his chair back, right? And I'm like, this is cool. So I'm the only bouncer. I'm the only guy there. I can't remember how many girls are inside. There's a bouncer or a DJ and then the manager. So one of the regulars, who I'm pretty sure he's nailing one of the girls, right? I go, hey, bro, because he's always around. Essentially, I'm like, hey, bro, there's a guy over there. He's like, huh? I said, yeah, because I told my manager, and there's a guy, he came over earlier, now he's laying back. I was like, I'm going to go over there. So I go over there because now this guy's watching the front for me because that guy tells me, oh, I'm just taking a nap for later. I'm like, no, you need to fucking leave. You can't just sit over here across from the thing. I know what you're doing. You're waiting to follow these girls home. You got to leave. It's a this and that. And I'm like, look, bro, I will trash your car and trash you if you don't leave. So then he goes and parks across the street. So now I got to walk across the street to miss him, but I'm not supposed to like leave, the premises really. So that guy's like, I'll take care of it. So he gets in his car, chases them all around Everett, and never seen dude ever again. But yeah, that's the weird shit people do.
Never trust the man in sweats. That's the moral.
Never trust the man in sweats. He was in a minivan too. Weirdo. He was like, I don't know. You gotta go, dude.
Gots to go. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Oh.
Time for the sponsor.
Me? I think we're good.
You want to give it a couple minutes?
No,
You know,
I think we're good.
we could talk about Aurora. You know anything about Aurora? I'm joking.
Illinois, like Wayne's World.
Aurora in Seattle. It's a very well-known track. Like I used to have to go get dishwashers and toilets from the Lowe's in North Seattle there. And that's essentially right on Aurora, and you would just see the night walkers, the ladies at night just walking up and down there, and it's like, bro, you guys should, man, you need to get a life, guys. You know what I mean? Like, it gets cold, it's rainy out here, and you're out here like, man, this is too much. Like, you're trying too hard to make the money, yo.
Nope, never knew about Aurora. But I mean, I was married most of the times I've been to Seattle. So,
I didn't.
So when I was getting done with college, and I drove up there, a road trip up to Seattle from the Bay Area. That was a long ass drive. Let me tell you.
I've never seen anything like it before in my life, and I was just like, wait, what? Things like this is real? Like, I understand that it happens, but like why isn't, like, it's like every day out here. Like I couldn't believe it. I felt so weird going in that area. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the weirdest things ever. It's, to me, I couldn't believe it. And hey, to each their own. You know what I mean? I think it essentially should be legalized, and there should be regulations to certain stuff like that, make it so it's safer and whatnot, all that type of thing. But not my type of thing, especially like that's just, anyway, we have fun.
We are having fun.
If you're lonely, go check out Aurora in Seattle. I just came here for a dishwasher.
Sure, pal. That's what they're calling it these days.
Hey, there you go. You want to get a garbage disposal? That's a little cheaper.
Maybe
think about it.
Time to call it here. I think we've officially gone off the reservation.
The reservation, the rails.
The rails, the reservation, the whole nine.
Because Seattle essentially is named after Chief Seattle. So you're actually talking about the reservation, the old one.
What was Everett named after?
Oh, the fact that it will ever be rotting.
There you go. Ever rot.
No, but we got Puyallup, which
Boeing.
Boeing. No, that's not a. Puyallup is like the Pacific Northwest. That's one of those names where you read it and you will never be able to pronounce it. We got a couple of those, the native names. It's just, I like it. I think it's awesome. It makes us, unique. There's, like, down in California, there's native names too. I think it's awesome.
Absolutely.
You don't, like, I used to live on the Tulalip Reservation, right? So I used to also live in a town called Marysville. Well, there's a Marysville in California. There's a Marysville in like every state in the United States. There's not a Tulalip in every state in the United States. There's not one anywhere else, I don't think. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I think it's awesome. It gives places character. But Oh, it could be tough. I remember Milpitas. I remember I tried to phonetically spell out Milpitas when I was a kid. My mom had a freaking laugh at me. I was like, I don't get this, Mom. What did that say? Millable plapalado polititias? She's like, huh? I started adding letters and stuff. It was too much. It was too much for my brain. Milpitas. I think it was Milpitas. Yeah.
Oh,
What are the towns that messed you up as a kid, huh? The names that messed you up?
gosh, I don't know.
My mom to this day still can't say Worcestershire sauce. She calls it Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Like she totally can't get it going from the start. I don't know how she can't even start it off correctly. Worcestershire. How did you get the Worcestershire? You got any ones?
I'm sure I do, but I'm blanking on them at the moment. I think 3 streams today. My brain's a little cooked. Like when I had that moment there where I was like trying to think of that one thing. It still hasn't come back to me, which is unusual. Usually if I stop thinking about it, it pops back in my head, but not today. So not today. Worcester, Mass.
All right. Worcestershire, Mass.
Worcester.
There's a great show from back in the day. I don't know if you like House and Mr. Laurie.
Hugh Laurie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie. But
he's actually British.
I totally know. So if you go back and look up a show called Jeeves and Wooster, you'll find what's his name? Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry is Jeeves and Birdie is Hugh Laurie. And it's about Jeeves is Birdie's manservant. And Birdie thinks he's smart. You know, he was born into wealth, so he thinks he's intelligent. He kind of gets in these situations, and then Jeeves, who says very little most of the time and has great smirks, just kind of like handles the business, totally handles it to the point where like he's trying to rent Jeeves and his services out to his homeboys to fix the situation. But the shows are hilarious. They're hilarious. You might like them because you could probably get with the old timey type thing because it's very time perfect. Like they got the old cars, all that stuff. It's done like perfectly, but it's freaking hilarious. My mom used to make me listen to these things in the car on tape, and I just laughed my ass off. I thought it was hilarious.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
Jeeves and Wooster. Wooster, yep, Ted. Wooster. All right. Well, with that, I want to thank everybody in the chat today. You guys have been amazing. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Without you guys, this wouldn't be much. It'd be just me and Ted talking to each other. It'd be a fancy phone call. So we appreciate you guys for coming in and being lit in the chat today. You guys were fire in the chat. You kept it going.
What's your score prediction, Ryan?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know.
Affect that easily. You want me to tell you mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
2017 Niners.
2017. No. We'll score more on that defense. Oh, shit. I'm going to go 31-24.
I like it. Purdy for 30.
I like it. Bebop just said dub.
I might have to move Purdy into elite territory if he does well against the Eagles.
Why? If they don't have such a great secondary, essentially, why would you all of a sudden upgrade them?
Just because they have a good offense that puts pressure on you, knowing that
Okay.
if it comes down to a close game, the tush push, the brotherly shove could be the difference. That's pressure.
And I think if anybody can stop the brotherly shove, I think it's Chris Kosurik and his guys. I think he'll have them keyed up to run through a wall. And if they can't do it, I don't know if anybody can. I think we need to bring out
I'd
some
feel
more
better
D-line.
about it if we had like DJ Jones or something.
Oh my God, I know, right? Give me a good wrecker up front.
Yeah, just you can get low. Stick Jason Poe on defensive tackle.
Dude, that might
I know you love Jason Poe.
that might be a thing.
You're
Though.
always trying to figure out ways to get Jason Poe in the game. So
Well, but he's so
I
small.
knew you'd love that. Yeah,
He's
low.
so small. You could
low to
wedge
the
him in
ground.
there and just put Trent Williams in a defense tackle. I don't think so. I wouldn't want to put him in there if he got
might
rolled up.
play.
So, Jesus, we got to get out of here.
Gotta go. You don't have to go
All right.
home, but you can't stay here.
Appreciate you,
Closing
everybody.
time.
And we out. Go Niners.
Peace.